So, did we keep our job? Let's find out. Yes, hello, welcome in to another episode here on Livestreams Sports of Glory Hunter on Football Manager 22. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss an episode of Glory Hunter. And if you missed the last one, go and check it out. We were just about clinging on to our job, and as you can see, we still have it. That is because, if we look at our previous fixtures in the middle of the screen there, we played against Fiorentina 1-2-0, and it moved our job security status from precarious, as it was at the end of the last episode, to stable for some reason. I'm not sure how it jumped up through so many levels, but it did. We then did unfortunately lose to Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, but then we have since beaten Torino as well. And today we have the last game in the Champions League group stage against Galatasaray, and then a game against fourth placed Atalanta in SerieA. Very, very tough games indeed. And the reason that miraculously we have now become a stable job is because thanks to those two wins, we jumped up from kind of 9th, 10th position all the way up to 5th. To be fair, if we lose against Atalanta in the second game of today's episode, we could drop all the way back down to 9th again. And in fact, the Juventus manager has been sacked. But it does actually mean, even though Inter and Napoli were doing really well at the start of this season, we're actually only 5 points behind them, which is a lot closer than I thought we were going to be at this stage. I thought this was going to be another year where we're not going to do anything in this league, but it's a lot tighter than it has been in previous years. You can see Inter and Napoli both dropping some games, not winning them all. Only 9 wins for Inter and Napoli. I know I say only 9 out of 14, but in previous seasons we've normally had a runaway leader up there, being Inter Milan, as you can see from the past winners. But it's closer, so hopefully we can keep the pressure on up there. As you saw from the schedule, if we change it to just Serie A, you can see in our last handful of games down here, I'll see if it actually stays selected. You can see our last 6 games, we've got 5 wins and a draw. Again, tough start to the year when you look at that little spell there. But when you look at the teams we lost to, Inter, Juventus, Napoli, they're all top sides. We have not really dropped points against people we shouldn't have in the most recent run of games. Hopefully that continues today. We just have Atalanta and Bologna to play still in Serie A before our Christmas break. But we do have, as I mentioned, a Champions League game to play as well today. So I won't show you the Bologna game before we go on our Christmas break, but you'll get to see Galatasaray and Atalanta. So Serie A is very tight at the top. We're just 5 points off. As you can see from our Champions League group as well, there's a chance we will not qualify out of it. When we first started the Champions League group stage, I thought ourselves and Dortmund, Lyon, they'll be the 3 that are having a fight at the top. Well, it turns out the only points Dortmund have had are the win and the draw against us. They've in fact lost twice to Galatasaray and lost to Lyon. So Lyon play against Dortmund today. Dortmund cannot qualify out of the Champions League group stage to get to the knockout rounds. The best they can do is finish 3rd. But we play Galatasaray in the first game of today's episode, and so long as we don't lose, we will get into the knockout rounds of the Champions League. If we do lose, we'll drop down into the Europa League. Now, a lot of maybe thinks maybe dropping down to the Europa League is not going to be that bad. We could try and win the Europa League. But if you've got the chance to get into the Champions League knockout rounds, you never know what might happen if you get there. So I would like to get through. And against Galatasaray, what should be an easy game for, as you can see, their 2 wins are against Dortmund, which I would class as surprise results. We managed to beat them the last time we played them. We beat them 3-1. So hopefully we can do the same away from home in today's game. The last game we played was a 3-0 victory over Torino, and I changed the system about a little bit, and it seemed to work quite well. So we're going to stick with this system today. We see we went to a 3-5-2 formation instead of a 4-4-2 diamond we had been playing with recently. Had a little bit of a rotated side in some of the midfield positions and defence and stuff for the game against Torino, but we won 3-0 quite comfortably again. Assists from the wide men. Sesko got himself a hat-trick. Christensen's just about returned from injury, so he'll play in the league game with us today, but he's not registered in the Champions League because we didn't think he was going to be ready. So in the first game of today's episode, he won't be playing. And you will have noticed in that game against Torino, we were playing Declan Rice as a centre-back, and we're going to do the same again today. This is a team we're going to go with on this left-hand side of the screen. As you can see, fairly full strength. apart from probably at left back, I'd probably have played Christensen instead of Dallo. But apart from that, fairly full strength. Patricio in goal, Zagadou, Romagnoli and Rice playing at centre back today. Dallo on the left, Salamakers on the right. Camavinga with Veretout and Pellegrini in midfield. And Abraham partnering Sesko up front. You can see Sesko actually scoring more goals than Abraham so far this year. So let's see if they can have a little fight between the two of them and see who can score the most for the rest of the season. On the bench, you can see Oscar's there. He's got 5. Remember, he was scoring lots of goals earlier on this season. So he's got 5 there if we need to bring someone off the bench for goals, alongside Kramaric there as well. We get defensive cover. It's most of our bench is because we have lots of defenders in the squad. And even though we're playing 5 of them at the back, we still have lots to use. So let's get into this. A game against Galatasaray, hopefully a nice win, and then a tough one against 4th place Atalanta in SerieA to come. I will not hold you back any longer in watching games. You've been listening to me talking now for, about 5 minutes. You don't want to listen to me anymore. Let's get straight into the games. So Galatasaray wearing their red and orange colours. We are playing in white today. And let's see how we get on. Playing with a control possession style positively. And we'll see if we can come away. A draw would be perfectly fine here as well. We don't need to win, just as long as we don't lose. And here we go. The first highlight of the game is in the 35th minute. It's a free kick for ourselves. I assume Veretout will take this. Indeed he does. He curls it in. It's a good save from Muslera in the Galatasaray goal. And let's see what happens here. He plays it out short at the back, and we are putting on a high press. But they've managed to get around it. But it goes all the way back to their deep line midfield players. Karim with it on the left-hand side. Good challenge from Tammy Abraham. And Salamakers has the ball now. Back to Camavinga, playing that ball-winning deep-lying role. And Romagnoli launches it toward Abraham, and it's headed away only as far as Salamakers, though. And he goes down this right-hand side. Can he get the ball into the box? He does indeed. Into Sesko. And Sesko, who's very quickly becoming our main man up front, as I mentioned. Scoring more goals than Tammy. Remember, Season 1, Tammy Abraham, the only striker we had, scored hundreds of goals for us. Set a new record, remember, for goals for Roma. This year, however, with the two of them up front, Sesko's getting on the score sheet as well, and he's starting to just mature a little bit. 19, 20 years old. Can't remember if he's turned 20. I think he has. He's just improving, just getting a little bit more experience. He's the sort of player that I think I'd quite like to bring with us wherever we go here in Glory Hunter. And indeed, we've got to half time, and we lead 1-0 in what's been a not very exciting match at all, but we'll take it so long as we are winning. You can see there's some fairly poor ratings out there for some of our players. They're pressing quite high. They're wide players coming narrow to try and match up with our 3 centre backs here. And Declan Rice, who's dropped back into that defensive role, already on a yellow card. Camavinga through to Sesko. Sesko's got to finish. He's tried to chip the keeper, but was unsuccessful. And we still lead 1-0 just at the start of the second half. The ball is swung into the box here, and Galatasaray have it on the right-hand side. Atakan, back to Nelson. Back to Atakan. It's a sliding challenge from Camavinga. And they still somehow have the ball to Galatasaray. It's hit from a long way out, and what a... I don't have words. What a goal from Bergkamp there. See, after the sliding challenge from Camavinga, Nelson finds Atakan over to Hoffman. We don't really put pressure on Bergkamp here. He's 35 yards out, and that's a thunderous strike to put Galatasaray back on level terms. Goodness me, I don't know what to say about that. What a goal! I can't even be annoyed about being back on level terms now. That was a brilliant goal from Galatasaray. And it's still 1-0, which means we do qualify at the moment. But if we do win our game, we would go top, and that's something we would like to do. There's just 15 minutes to go. We'll make some changes. Pellegrini, who's playing in midfield, not playing great. We'll bring Oscar to play in that advanced playmaker role in the midfield for us. Looking further back, Dallo's not having a great game, so we'll bring on Calafiore for him. Confirm those subs. 15 minutes to go. Can we get a winner? We've brought Kramaric on for Tammy Abraham up front, and Kramaric has just won a free kick. Veretout into Oscar. Kramaric! Well, if this stands as a goal, you can see they're checking for offside. 2 of the substitutes combining for the winning goal here, and it has been awarded. Veretout with the free kick. Oscar flicks the ball on, and Kramaric with the first time finish into the near post. My tactical genius amazes even me as 2 of my subs combine to get what could be this winning goal. But there are 2 minutes added time still to play, and there's another highlight. Kramaric back to Declan Rice and Oscar and Kramaric. And could we get ourselves a third? Kramaric finds Sesko, And will he play the ball back to Calafiori? He does. Into the middle. Veretout. It's blocked. Oscar! Oh, he had the goal at his mercy there. The keeper had no idea what was going on, and the ball went wide. And we nearly got ourselves a third goal there, but instead, Galatasaray have a chance to come forward with it, and they do. Berkan in behind Rice here. Can Rice stop the ball getting in the middle? No, he can't. But Calafiori collects it and finds Romagnoli. And Emery has went down injured, so Sesko collects this, and it's a 2-on-3 situation now. Can Sesko get the ball in the middle? Kramaric is there if he can find him. He tries. Kramaric at the front post. And Muslera holds on to the ball. Perhaps unsporting as not putting the ball out of play. But who cares about being sporting when we can win that game 2-1? We have done that. And depending on the result in the Dortmund-Lyon game, we could have topped our group. And we'll see the group appear here. And indeed we have. That loss for Galatasaray means they're knocked out of Europe altogether. Disappointing for them. But we have topped the group. Lyon in second and Dortmund dropping into the Europa League. In the end, that was actually a very, very tight group. If Dortmund just hadn't lost to Galatasaray, ourselves and Lyon took 6 points off Galatasaray, and Galatasaray took 6 off Dortmund. So if Dortmund had beaten Galatasaray as expected, Dortmund would have been top of that group on 13 points. But instead, they find themselves in the Europa League. So the draw for the knockout stages of the Champions League is not until later on this month. So it'll be next episode when you find out who we have in that first knockout round. However, if we look at the group stages at the moment and see who finished second, because as we won our group, we'll play against a team who finished second. Liverpool, second in that group. That's a tough one if we get that draw. Tottenham, Paris Saint-Germain, Shakhtar Donetsk, Benfica, Real Madrid, Juventus. I'm not sure if we can get drawn with a team from our country at this stage. I can't quite remember what the rules are, but Real Madrid, Liverpool, PSG, they're tough. Tottenham, Shakhtar, Benfica, a little bit easier. So half of them I want to avoid. Half of them I would probably be a bit more happy to take. We'll see who we have. Remember, Tottenham are just full of our ex-players. They've got Kluivert, they've got Isco. No, they just keep selling. Or keep buying, I should say, the players that we sell. Oh yeah, and as if I could have forgotten, Zaniolo went to Tottenham as well. Maybe it'd be quite nice to play Tottenham in the next round. Kind of Roma against ex-Roma players. But anyway, that's to think about in the next episode. We still have a game up against Atalanta to play today, and you can see they're just above us in the league table. A win from us by enough goals? I'm not sure, because it's head-to-head. After you play one game against a team, how does that work? I'm not sure, but a win could take us above Atalanta in the table, and we'll see if we can get that in just a couple of days' time. For you, it'll just be a split second. Right, so here we are back for the second game of today's episode, up against Atalanta today. As we say, they were just above us in SerieA. We've had to make a few changes from the last game. Some of them, because we wanted to bring in some players. Some of them because of some fitness problems. So Patricio's going to play in goal. And Zagadou is going to play alongside Romagnoli and Kaike at the back. That's because Declan Rice has moved into the midfield to replace the slightly tired Camavinga, and he'll be partnered by Veretout and Pellegrini either side of him. Can you have 3 people in a partnership? I'm not sure. Christensen comes back in to play left back now that he's able to play, and he's actually allowed to play in Serie A because we hadn't registered him in the Champions League. He'll be registered for the knockout stages anyway, it's fine. And Dallo moves from the left to the right then to replace Salamakers, who is also a little bit tired. Up front, Abraham's moved to the advanced forward position because Kramaric has had to come in for Sesko, because Sesko needs a rest apparently. His young legs, the young 20-year-old man has apparently got some tired legs for playing every 4 days for the last however many months, so I suppose that's understandable. Means the Kramaric who scored in the last game has a chance to score again in this one from the start. Let's see if he can. Say, tough match, but at home to Atalanta though, so hopefully a win. You can see from the other results earlier today, Lazio beat Empoli, Udinese have drawn with Hellas Verona, and Napoli actually won yesterday, so they're up to 33 points. It's vital we get the win to keep within touch and distance of Napoli, or they're going to start pulling away alongside teams like Lazio, Inter, and even Atalanta, should Atalanta beat us today. It's good that we have the 2 tactics we're comfortable playing, the 4-4-2 diamond or this 3-5-2 formation. I'm glad we can change between them when we want. We're enjoying some good results with this formation, so we're going to stick with it today. And you can see so far we've dominated the stats on that left-hand side of the screen there. No highlights as of yet. It seems to always be the case. We have lots and lots of stats that appear, but never actually a highlight. And finally, there's one here. Abraham's won the ball back high up the pitch. Declan Rice back to Zagadou, and now we'll recycle and play out from the back. Christensen, can he get down that left-hand side and get the ball in from the byline. He does to Kramaric. Fantastic. Andre Kramaric with his 5th goal of the season. Adding us a deep line forward, but getting into that box, almost with his poacher-like instincts, experience up front, proving to be useful here. And we lead 1-0. You can see Christensen hugging that sideline, gets to the corner flag, and there's only one man in the box, but he finds Kramaric, gets in front of his man, in front of the keeper, and we lead 1-0. And indeed, that does put us up into 4th place, into the Champions League spots as it stands. But again, we're not looking just to get in the Champions League. We are looking to win the league this year, and hopefully we can do that. Highlight here, can we get ourselves a second? Veretout flicks it on, it's headed all the way back to Stefan, who's currently the backup keeper at Man City, if that's the same Stefan in goal. I imagine it probably is. Ball won by Zagadou and finds Christensen. We play it back to Romagnoli, and we'll play this ball out from the back. Zagadou coming forward, finds Kramaric, who is challenged, and Chowdhury finds Pessina forward to Alvarez. Can they stop this going? I was going to say, can we stop this going in? But it already went in by the time I started saying that. Poor from Patricio. Pasalic plays it to Chowdhury, Pessina, the ball forward. Zagadou doesn't track him. Kaike doesn't get back in time, and Patricio just, that ball's right next to him. Why have you just fallen over? And we've went back to 1-1 here, which is very disappointing. Romagnoli throws it forward to Abraham here, the 40th minute of the game. Can we get ourselves back in front just before half time? Romagnoli, Christensen, back to Romagnoli, and he'll drive forward with it. Finds Zagadou. Kaike's dropped very far back here. Playing about in midfield. Veretout, Christensen's in lots of space out there. But he plays it back to Romagnoli. Forward to Veretout, who's in behind the defence. Back to Christensen. Ball in. Abraham over the bar. We're so dangerous down that left-hand side with Christensen in there. Not that we weren't with Dallo, but Christensen's... I really, really like Christensen in the team on that left-hand side. I'm glad he's back from his fairly long-term injury. Rice with it now, playing at the base of that midfield. Abraham spreads it out to Christensen. Can the ball come in the middle from him? It can. Abraham heads it. That's off the crossbar. As I was mentioning, great play from Christensen on that left-hand side. Great delivery. A couple of chances now Abraham has missed there. Saying that his average rating is actually quite good. It shows he's really been involved in the play and he's playing well. Just hasn't got himself a goal today, which is something we've been so used to seeing him do in previous seasons. 65 minutes on the clock. We're going to make some changes. Tammy Abraham's going to come off. We're going to bring on Sesko for him up front. See if we can get a goal out of him. And Dallo's not playing great on the right-hand side. So we'll bring on Lazaro to play for him there. Confirm those substitutes. And let's see in this last 20 minutes if we can somehow get ourselves a winner. Hopefully we don't concede one, as we appear to have given away a penalty there. Oh no. Commentator's curse from me, wasn't it? Hopefully we don't concede one. As soon as I say that, Kaike gives away a penalty. Goodness me. Who's going to step up? It's Muriel to take it, and Patricio obviously is not going to save it as he's not been playing particularly well in goal. And we are now down 2-1. We're going to change to this diamond formation now. Get Rice back to the base of that diamond. Bring on Oscar further forward from it. Sesko can play as the pressing forward. Kramaric is the deep lying one. We'll confirm these changes. Oh, what a turnaround for Atalanta. I'm not even sure they deserve it, to be honest. But they do lead 2-1. So we've changed to the 4-4-2 diamond. Let's see if we can make use of that. The ball into the back. Sesko, and Kramaric gets another goal here. His second of the day. Sesko with the assist. Lovely ball swung in from the right-hand side to the back post. Headed back over. And we're back 2-2 with 10 minutes to go. Throw in there. Lazaro gets the ball to the back post. Sesko beats his man, and Kramaric is just unmarked in the middle. Puts away his second of the day. And could it be a hat-trick day for Kramaric? Let's find out. The ball swung in. Oh, it's headed just over the bar from Sesko there. We're starting to dominate. We're on top. Can we do it? Can we somehow get ourselves a winner here and put us back up into 4th place? A draw wouldn't be the end of the world up against Atalanta, but we'd like to try and get a win. And after we seem to turn it round and have more of the ball, more possession, more pressure, no more highlights happened. And we end up drawing that game 2-2. You look at the stats, we probably deserve just about to win it. When you look at the number of shots we had, the XG, the corners, we had more of the ball. But that penalty for Atalanta really ruined it for us, didn't it? That was the turning point in the game. Glad we managed to get back and get a draw. But we have dropped points against those teams, or compared to those teams at the top of the table. Should Inter win their game in hand, they'll go up with Napoli in 33 and will now be 7 points behind the leaders after 15 games. That would be disappointing indeed. So we have progressed from our Champions League group. We have got a draw in SerieA. We've slightly lost ground on the leaders, but all in all, we're still in charge at Roma, which might not have been the case after the last episode. So some positive things here. I have noticed our contract runs out at the end of the year, so we might not renew it, even if we don't do anything here at Roma and try and find somewhere else to go. But for the rest of the season anyway, I think we will be sticking here at Roma. We've got a chance to get some silverware, still in all 3 competitions. We play, as you can see, against Ternana Calcio or Pisa in the Italian Cup 3rd round, and then all the way down there at the end of February we play our Champions League first knockout round, as well as obviously still being in SerieA in a tough league. It really is. It's very close this year, and there's very interesting games around about the transfer window as well. So I think we're going to come back for that game up against Inter, who obviously are top of the table. Probably, maybe not by then, but they will be if they win their game in hand today. And we also have a game against Lazio that could be shown at the same time. Depending what happens on transfer deadline day, we might get to show you 2 games, or it might just be the one against Inter Milan. So yes, 2 very interesting games today. A win against Galatasaray to win us our Champions League group, and a draw against Atalanta to keep it a little bit interesting in SerieA. And we'll be coming back for those games at the end of January in the next episode. So if you have enjoyed this one, please do leave a like. It really does help us out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss any episode of Glory Hunter. And until that next one, where we play up against Inter Milan, we'll see you then.